Welcome back to Mech Tech with Mr. Sullivan. We're going to go ahead and continue our TinkerCAD Basics series with die on the workplane. Since we just finished the key ring with letters, let's move on. Alright, so while that's loading, we're going to make a dice, but in this one we're going to figure out how to manipulate the workplane. Okay, the workplane is this blue highlighted section. That essentially is where your model is going to be built. Okay. We're going to learn how to manipulate that a little bit to make things a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the view cube to move around, or you can either left click and move by holding control, or you can right click and move it if you can do that on your Chromebook or you have a mouse. Okay. So you're going to notice that there is already a 1, a 4, and a 2, and a 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 already on your dice. You are missing 5 and 6. So what we're going to do, if you don't know anything about dice, the opposing sides, so in this case the 3 and the 4, always equal 7. Okay? So opposite of 1 would be 6, opposite of 2 would be 5. Alright? So it will always equal 7, so we're going to put a 5 right here and a 6 right on top. Okay? So what we're going to do first is we're going to grab the Workplane tool, which is right here. We're going to drag that out and put it where it has it highlighted, and it will snap that Workplane up, and it will look like this. Okay? The reason why we're going to do that is because it's going to make it a lot easier to grab that number 5 and bring that out here. Alright? But to do that, it's not in this menu. Okay? We need to click on this drop down menu and go to text and numbers. Okay? Scroll all the way down and go to page 2, and then you have the last of the alphabet, and then you get into the numbers. So we're going to grab this number 5 and we're going to bring that out and drop it right there in that orange highlighted area. Let's zoom in on it to see if we're even close. Right there. Okay. Then we're going to click next. Then what we want to do is we want to rotate this. So you can kind of see that orange highlighted area right there. It's because it wants you to shrink the thickness of this from 4 down to 1. So we're going to drag it all the way down to 1, just like that. If you need to, change the snap grid down to that 0.25, okay? And it'll help you position that a lot easier. We got really lucky with the positioning, and that's what we got for the 5. So far, so good, right? Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go back to this home position. We're going to grab this Workplane tool. We're going to drop it down here just to reset it. And then we're going to move it again and put it right up on top to make it easy for the 6. Okay? So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring that 6 out, drop it in here. Let's zoom in on it. Go to the top view. Let's move it in. I actually need to drop down this snap grid a little bit more so I can really fine tune it. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to change the height of it down to 1. Down 1 right there. Hit next. Okay. Hit the home button to change our view. Grab that Workplane tool. Drop it anywhere that is not on your model. And that will reset your Workplane. Then we're going to select all shapes. So you remember you can either click and drag or hold shift and select all of them. But you want to have all 3 shapes selected. So the dice, the 5, and the 6. Then you're going to hit group or control G. It will group it together where it will look like this. You hit next and you're done. Okay? There is your dice right there. Pretty simple. But that does it. You are done with learning the basics. Now you get to move on to designing your own stuff. Hopefully you learned something. Good luck.